Guys have a really interesting one here today. Are you the niche yourself, or should you pick a niche and take sort of yourself out of the equation? And there are two very strong views on this, and this is one of the most important questions as a small creator. To what extent you should just say, I am in my mind, basically a robot, and I'm just going to hammer down on whatever niche or niche, however you pronounce it, I pronounce it, niche topic you want, and don't tell any stories about yourself, whatever. Or should you be all over the place? Actually, no, that's not even the right way of looking at it. Not being all over the place, but should you have much more of your personality in there where you can move on to different topics and really branch out? And I want to start with this guy. He's done well. Kallaway has got some huge channels. He's really strong in the you have to pick a niche, you are nothing almost kind of person. I'm more on the other side, but let's see what he has to say and give a fair shake, because he's doing well too. And as I said, this is a really important topic. So let's just hear his point of view, and we'll show some other points of view, and then we can think, how does this matter to you when you're making a channel? That's the most important thing.
All right, lie number 2 in content, and this is the one that kills me, is you are the niche. Let me just come out and say it. You are not the niche. Jennifer Aniston, she is the niche. You are not the niche. Now, what's the difference between Jennifer Aniston and you? The main difference is that she has actually done stuff worth talking about. All the gurus that say you are the niche, including Gary Vee, and I love Gary Vee, that is not the right advice for someone to grow in this era. Do not document your life. Do not build in public. Do not flex your hobbies. Do not talk about stuff you know nothing about. These things are just more noise in the sea of noise. You can do them if you want to practice the skill of making content, but if you're actually trying to build a personal brand, or God forbid, monetize something, those will not work. The value around a core topic where you have expertise, that is the niche. You are not the niche. Now, of course, you can infuse your personality into the content. You can execute the format and the visuals however you want. The branding can be amazing, but that's not the niche, and that's not the cake. That is all the icing. The cake is the topics you choose and the insights you have that are unique, non-obvious, and helpful. The only people that transcend their niche and become the niche themselves are people that are so big, where fandom has been built for so long that people.
So he's saying if you are so big already, like a Jennifer Aniston, then you can be the niche, but you are nothing yourself. Okay. It almost seems like, and I'm not hating on this guy, I'm sure he's a nice guy, he's done well, he's got a good point of view in general, but it almost sounds like he's had a coach when he was young that's kind of like, work hard, you're nothing, you haven't proven anything, or like that kind of thing. And I don't know, that's the vibe I get. And also, I've watched enough of his content. I don't watch everything, but I've seen whole videos, like they're pretty long too, where he infuses, I would say, nothing at all about himself or his personality. Like, you don't know where he lives, you don't know if he's married, you don't know, like, did his ex-girlfriend cheat on him when he was young? And he might not need to share that, right? Whatever. Like, but the more personal stories you tell, the more you can build yourself up. So far in this channel, I've done basically nothing. I'm just, like, in terms of myself being in here, I'm just sort of shooting, speaking off the cuff. I'll probably go more into personal stuff as we go. Haven't done that yet. But he's very scripted, very polished, and like you can tell how the lighting looks and the microphone and all this stuff really matter. And there's no ums and ahs, and everything's edited out. It seems like it's, he's gone through a script. I'm not sure if he's reading the entire thing, and he's very animated like this, but none of that is personality driven. And that's fine. He took his personality out. But he's sort of saying that's how it applies to other people, unless you're already like a household name like Jennifer Aniston. And I'm going to show some other points of view that contrast that. Now, Gary Vee is big now, but he mentioned Gary Vee. And I don't totally necessarily agree with this take either, but we got 3 or 4 to do. And I think the summation of all of them is really going to help you answer the question. So watch this, though.
Piano, and like one of the questions I wanted to ask you was like, I'm having trouble like finding a niche, because like I like do so much shit. Like obviously I played football.
I don't think you need to find a niche. I think your niche is that you are that human being.
Yeah.
Football, After Effects, small town kid.
Yeah.
I'm sure 17 other things you haven't told me yet.
Yeah.
Your niche is you, the human.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, I need a niche, which actually means I need to stay narrow in something and just talk about football.
Yeah.
That's the reverse. You need to be as broad as possible, but fully you, which becomes your niche. That's me.
Yeah.
I talk about, the Jets. I talk about sports cards. I talk about wine.
Yeah.
I talk about business, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not a niche. I'm broad as fuck.
Yeah.
My niche is that I'm Gary.
Yeah.
That's your fucking niche.
I didn't know about that.
And that's right, because I'm so pumped Brandon came to film, because that's like one of the better ways I've articulated. It's crazy.
So the way I agree with the other guy is in the sense that you want to be careful with this. Like, you don't post random anything, right? That is hard to do. But like, let's say this guy's posting about football and he can give all his tips on football and training and what you eat. But he could also make a video like him in the kitchen before and how he didn't sleep the night before because, I don't know, he broke up with his girlfriend or whatever, or I don't know, he ate fast food the day before and is like not feeling well, or just something awesome happened, like whatever. He can talk about his whole personality inside of that, and then people would come to it for him while he's talking about football, and then he could branch out into other things later and develop that character if he wants to do that. If he's really scripted and like, I don't know, 3 ways to get faster at running 40 yards or something, and then just says nothing about himself, then yeah, you don't develop yourself at all as a niche. And you might want to keep it that way, you might want to not, but he doesn't have to be like, people are interested in normal people as well, right? You don't have to be Jennifer Aniston by any stretch of the imagination. Gary here sounds like he's saying anybody can post anything, that can fail. I'm sure he knows that as well. That's just a little clip here. Now, this guy is hilarious. I don't watch too much of him, but I just know that he's really blown up. He's a young guy. He's got a zillion channels. This one only has 6,000 subs, his influencer school, but he's got ones with over 1 million. And he talks like this, right? So he does kind of swear and stuff. So, this is for adults, but whatever. Just watch him and compare him to the first guy, because this guy's doing incredibly well, like making millions.
And I just kind of concluded that everyone is like a fucking retard and they're not worth listening to when it comes to, like haters and whatever. I remember the thing that actually triggered it, there was like this one fucking little kid who made a video about me trying to talk about like what was happening in my personal life. And he had a whiteboard to try and explain it, like this just in, like this is what's Hamza and this drama and stuff. And I didn't even watch the video. Maybe he said something good, but I just saw the thumbnail and I just thought it was the gayest thing I've seen in my entire life. Like men talking about men online. It was so fucking gay. And then including like comments about me and whatever. And this is going to happen. Like as you grow bigger as a influencer, I think I'm just going to eat this with a spoon actually. As you grow bigger as an influencer, like people will like comment.
So like, that's just a random few seconds there. But the idea is he talks about his whole life, right? Like if he has a new girlfriend, he brings her on. If he's going out to the clubs, like he's taking testosterone, he's working out like crazy, showing you every little detail. And sort of young men follow him and pay a lot of money to join his courses and retreats. And you can tell like he's talking as if he's talking to the camera, but it's as if his buddies are in the back just listening to his morning story there. I bet he doesn't say a different word. Clearly it's not scripted. And there's so much of like, this is what I do for good and bad. And people like that about him. If somebody else tried to develop that, he says he lives in Bali. Again, I don't know the most about him personally, but I clicked around. I've seen enough and I've heard what other people say, but that's what he does. And he tells very like specific stuff about his life. Even before he got big because of doing that, he wasn't like big like Jennifer Aniston and then therefore he can do that. He was a nothing, but he was telling these really personal stories and people caught on. Like he couldn't get a date for years. And then he, worked out, I guess. And I don't know, worked on his haircut. I don't know. That's basically the story. He worked on himself, personal development. Now he's doing much better financially. And, in like the dating world and whatever, and he shares his personality, and the whole thing is about him and his personality. So that is a way to think about it. And I'll go back quickly to the first guy. If you just watch the style, again, it's working for him too, but you have to see which one are you, or on the spectrum, where do you want to fit?
People actually want to hear their opinion on other stuff, not just the core topic. 99% of people watching this, me included as a creator, are not big enough to transcend bigger than the niche. When you say Kallaway is the niche, no, marketing and social media content is the niche. Kallaway is just trying to be one of the most non-obvious and tactically useful people communicating value in that niche. I don't know why I just went third person, but you get the point. I can't stress this enough. The algorithms do not reward channels that talk about
like his voice and animated style. Again, it works. I'm not trying to put it down. It's not a style that I would want to do personally. I'd lean more in the direction of the other guys, but it almost sounds like the way he's talking is like, it would be, this is what, if you worked at Disneyland doing the voiceover for like, hey kids, get on the scary new ride. That sort of, like, you're going to love this. It's crazy when you go through the dark caves and it's very scary. He's doing that sort of animated talking style, but about him personally, there's zero. He probably likes it that way. Again, that is fine, but you don't have to do it that way. If you're not like this would take, I'm sure he's got editors. This would take a long time to edit and put together. And then at the end, it's just you're locked into that way of doing it. You've got nothing going on about yourself, and takes way longer to make, takes way longer to edit, and you're locked into that way of thinking, and you really don't have to be. That's what I would say. You want to think about it, right? You want to think like, what generally am I going to make on a specific channel? You can have more than one channel too, like the other guy, right? But the more interesting you are, and interesting can just be like, even if you're poor and you live in a small little house and you barely do anything all day, honestly, just documenting that is interesting to some people if you really go into detail. Like whatever you're doing, right? It's not just like, I'm a movie star, I'm wonderful, look at me. Like it's the whole thing. There's a lot of channels that are like some guys living out basically in a tent or some little hut, and they haven't seen people in years, and that's interesting. Anything's interesting. Or like, being a mom. You can imagine a mom making a cooking show, but she's got so much of her personality, so much of her whatever life in there, that she could transition into like giving tips for how to raise kids as a mom, right? Like it depends. It's not just the food. Like you can branch out, especially if you have a group of people in a certain kind of interest way. So I think that's how you should think about it, where I'm almost making the question harder. Excuse me. It's harder now maybe than like, should you do it or shouldn't you do it? You really have to think for yourself. There is a way to put more personality in there without the whole like working for Disney kind of thing. By being more vulnerable, telling more personal stories, just being more off the cuff, telling the highs, the lows, the behind the scenes. There's definitely a way to do that. I'll just do one more quick clip here. This guy, Dan Coe, he's really in this
Read
thing.
and
He's
act
huge
on.
too.
When you know yourself, you get to skip ahead of the 99% of failed businesses that haven't experienced the problems they are trying to solve. Most people don't understand that they belong to a very specific niche. You already follow a broad number of people that talk about a variety of different interests, and that's what's created your current personality or identity, because your personality or identity are created by the information that you're repeatedly exposed to and that you deem important and worth accepting into your mind. So this is mistake number one when creating your niche. If your job is to target a specific person and you are a specific person, why are you narrowing in on one specific interest that you want to sell a product
A little bit more.
social media? Is that social media, you don't really control where your content goes. It's placed in front of people at random, according to their likes and interests from the algorithm, sure. But it's mostly random people who have no idea who you are or what you do. So when they only talk to that niche, they have more difficulty at the start. Fewer people share their content, so they can't get in front of the right people. And they may grow to 5,000 followers in a year when someone who incorporated their interests can grow to 20,000 in a year. After 3 years, the first gets to 30,000 followers and the second gets to 300.
So I'll just stop here for a sec. So this guy, Dan Coe, he's built a big thing as well. He's really into that. You are the niche. He started from nothing, I think just on Twitter. And you can tell he's sort of a deep thinker, and he does share personal stuff too. And how I used to think this, but then I changed into this. And like, he takes you through his life, and it works. Like, people trust him. Honestly, if he made a program about, like, I think he's in shape now. If he got really healthy, he could probably switch into doing like workout videos if he wanted. People do follow him because he seems like an intelligent, sincere guy who's thoughtful and not just like taking the latest content and sort of say the latest popular content, saying what he thinks is good about it, and then that's it. Like, there's a lot of him in there. So again, 2 ways to do it. There are a lot of people that agree with that first guy, Kallaway. I don't like to say I agree or disagree, but I tend to be more on the spectrum of disagreeing with it. I like more of the raw, native, like, be yourself kind of vibe. I think it's easier to do. It's more fun. It's more interesting. And then you're not following a recipe. I don't like that. And you can do well. Like, some people are just crushing it. They're knocking it out of the park with talking about something in general. And then if they want to pivot, they can say, I'm thinking about doing this, maybe not this, whatever. Anyway, that's sort of my rant, my thoughts on this very important topic. I'd love to hear your comments and thoughts in here, and think about how is this going to apply to what you are creating yourself, and just think, which direction do you want to go? Can you infuse more of that you are the niche aspect into what you're doing, and then get a little bit of best of both worlds? It's something to think about. And just for a plug of this, obviously I'm recording this on Podsplice. It is really easy to use. It's awesome. So I just sit in front of the camera, I rant. It takes all 4 separate tracks. So it's got my mic, the webcam, the system audio, which a lot of them don't have. So that's like the sound coming out of YouTube, and then YouTube, or whatever the sound is, the screen, and then it splices it all together. It automatically makes short clips with the subtitles on there, like the karaoke style subtitles, and in one click post to all the social media. We got an Android app. That's why I'm making the shorts lately. Like, not these kind of shorts where it's a long clipped into a short, but the ones that are just like shot directly on my phone. I got dual camera, different things. That's even easier. You can do remote podcasting. I'm going to do one with my brother, who's the co-creator of this, right after this, kind of like a Riverside to Script deal. And then you cut those into short clips and post them in one click. So we're making it really easy to create and share and post, and takes 2 seconds. We're really into the high quality but super easy, so you can get stuff done thing. So check out Podsplice. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you in the next video.